Boom in your face. Boom in your face. Boom in your face. Boom in your face. Hello and welcome to Boom in Your Face, a platform for indie artists and musicians to come and share their new music or projects, as well as discuss topics about the music industry and the community at large. Boom in Your Face has two meanings. One is that boom in your face from the music that you're listening to. But the other boom in your face is when someone assumes the situation is one way and boom in your face is totally wrong and something totally different. So on occasion we discuss those boom in your face moments, so watch out that someone might be you. Listeners, if you'd like to share your boom in your face music or projects, or share your boom in your face moments, or just want to join us in the conversation, reach out and email me at boominyourface616@gmail.com or visit the website and sign up for the newsletter, like, subscribe, and share the episodes. I'm your host, Mary Kearney. Welcome. How you doing today?
I'm doing excellent. Blessed and a higher power.
Well, that's great. I want you to introduce yourself and let the audience know who you are and about what you do and how they can reach you.
Okay. So what's going on, fans, family, everybody that's watching? This is King Enterprise, and I am an upcoming rapper coming out of Columbus, Georgia, 76, as known as. And, I pretty much just tell it how it is. I'm more of a energy type person. I give it how it's received, and I have a upcoming EP coming up soon. We definitely going to be dropping that very soon. Tune in. Definitely something to watch. Definitely something to pay attention to.
All right, so now you're saying that you have a project going on, so we're going to start from that, and then we're going to go on to other things. So what is the name of your project, or you haven't given it a title yet?
Yes, I have, actually. The name is The Street of OP, and basically it's in my neighborhood that I grew up in, and it's actually the streets. Like, I literally want to speak about a lot of stuff that went on that street, and in my songs I speak on a lot of stuff that went on that street and also in the neighborhood, but mostly on the street. And it's really more of a open the door, show people, and tell people pretty much who I am, where I come from, where I came from, and where I'm going, and how big-minded or big-headed that I have been a couple of times. We all have been big-headed before, and I learned from mistakes, and I wind up getting into the music business off of going through my trials and tribulations just to be a better person. I wind up pushing myself to be something that's going to be amazing, and people are really going to have to tune in and see where I came from, where I am now, because it's really a blessing to be here today, to even be able to do anything. So definitely need to tune in to the EP that I'm finna drop.
Well, that's awesome that you are taking situations that you say that you have struggled with and now putting it into a positive format, so that way you can encourage, empower other people that might be able to relate to what you're talking about, and to also prevent other people from even going in that same direction. So I commend you for that.
Yes, definitely. Thank you.
So now you say you have a project coming out, but what do you have? Let the audience know what you have currently available for them to be able to tap in and reach out and touch you.
So currently I have a song called Out My It. And I also just dropped a song last month called Product. And they are both under King Enterprise. They are on all platforms. You can go get it. Go watch the promo video on YouTube for Out My Elements. And for Product, we haven't finished the video yet, but we're working on the video. It's definitely coming.
So now let me ask you this question now. If you was not doing music, what else would you do? Or do you have aspirations to do stuff with your music outside of just being a performer and an artist?
Well, I actually started off being a manager. So I managed 3 artists, and it went from there. We grew. We went from doing that to hosting and promoting, from hosting and promoting. I do security also, so I have a lot of open lanes that I am in that actually got me to being able to release my music, drop my music, be able to even do music. So yeah, I pretty much have a lot of lanes that I can go in if I didn't decide to, choose to do music.
It's always a positive thing to have multi revenue streams. So I see you're a forward thinking type of person. So I'm so glad that you have turned yourself around in order to become a business model for yourself and use it in that type of way, in that type of tool. So you definitely are definitely inspiration for all the young men that are in your area and even outside of it, just to know that, you can just change your way and then move into business, focus on being a business entity.
Most definitely. Thank you.
Mm-hmm. So now, what inspired you to start music?
But I always love music. I always done music too. Like I always done music, but I never pushed myself to actually push my music. Like I never went to actual studios, paid money, any songs. I never went to clubs and, performed or anything. I literally just started doing it for 3 months. And it's like, I always been an entertainer from I was a child growing up, just never actually get in front of stages or, go to studios. Like I said before, I just used to always just do it. And people used to always tell me like, well, you should really take this serious. And I was just like, yeah. But, I was really focused on other things. Like, I have a different type of lifestyle than most people had. So like, I had things that I had to deal with my family. I had things that I had to deal with like the friend that I was coming up under. I followed a lot of ups and downs.
Mm-hmm.
So I had a lot of role models that I believed in, but when I got older, I noticed that they wasn't the ones to believe in. So that's what I mean when I say like I had ups and downs. Like I had other people that would tell me this is the way to do this, and then when I did, it was like, oh, no, you still doing it wrong. So it was like I never really had nobody tell me like, okay, you doing it right, just keep on going, keep on going. So, when you got somebody telling you how to do something, but then when you do it, they tell you it's still wrong, it tends to just break you to make you feel like, well, I can never do nothing right. So I'm just not going to even try. I'm just going to sit here and, do what the people say. People say you can't do, like, okay, I can't do it, so I ain't going to do it. So that's mostly how it went with me, because I always rap since I was a child. I always loved music since I was a child. So I just never took it serious. And like, it's the first time me taking it serious and it's actually going to the top.
Okay. Well, I had the pleasure of seeing you at the Tri-City Hip Hop Awards and do your thing live. And let me tell you, I'm so glad that you are pursuing it, because you're being very humble, which is a great thing, but you had lit up that stage. You had great stage performance. You had reached the audience. You had riled everyone up. But even above all of that, which is a great attribute to have, you were so helpful to others. You was helpful to the other artists to make sure they were right. I seen how you interacted with all your co-workers, because that's what the essence are. They're not your competitors, they're actually your co-workers. And the way that you handled yourself was so profound and generous. So I commend you for that, because you was definitely making sure everybody was heard correctly, that they had what they needed. And that's what it takes to be that type of person to really go high and far in your craft. And you will, because of that, just that. Aside from your talent, but just the fact that people will want to work with you, people will want to be around you because you're positive and you're encouraging the others. So that's a great thing to be.
Yeah, thank you. But it really, I'm really a spirit person. So I try to give back as much as I can. Like I really try to give back more than what I receive, because of some,
Amen.
we're not supposed to be arrogant and cocky. Even though I have my days where like I take the king to the next, but at the same token, like without work, you can have faith all you want to, but without work. And a lot of people tell that too. They be like, bro, you a hard worker, like you work hard. And it's really just natural. Like I like working behind the scenes. I really came in the game trying to work behind the scenes. I didn't want to be front row, but it was like, at the end of the day, started dropping, and I wasn't finna go because I gave everything. It's like I really started working at 9 to 5 just to start supporting other people. and their dreams. And then it wind up that, we started going different routes. And I just decided like, I can do this too. So I started doing it, and that's like the dream is starting to come true. So,
well, that's how it is. But I mean, it's always a great thing to be multi-talented, and you are. And just because you are in the front, like you said, as an artist, and behind, which is show production, which is nothing wrong with that. A lot of artists are that way. And if you think of the top ones, and I'll just give you Jay-Z because he's the bar I assume that you want to reach. He does behind, which he has a lot of artists, right? They open up their own labels and things of that nature. J. Cole's another one that does stuff like that. They do behind scene and in front of. So you are emulating great people.
Definitely.
With that floor plan,
with that layout, they definitely did a lot of work. They definitely do a lot of work.
They definitely do a lot of work, but not just wanting to be the one in the front. They have brought along a whole tribe of people behind them. So that's what it takes also when you're doing, no matter what you're doing in life, you always want to be able to be a person that can bring not just yourself forward, but everyone forward that you can help, that is, I would say, worthy of you being helping them, because some people just don't want to do right. You don't want to try to help selfish people that don't want to help others. You know what I mean? Because each one teach one. That's always been my motto, that you have to be willing to teach someone else something that you know in order for both of y'all to grow. Mm-hmm. But you have some people that are into business, don't think of nobody else but themselves.
Me, it really just look at it like, Jesus Christ and God, like,
that's right.
When you read like our scriptures, like, I can't see myself letting somebody fall short, because I look like, Jesus didn't leave us short, or God didn't leave us short. Like, many times they gave up on us, so Jesus could have just been like, I am not gonna do this, I'm not gonna do that. So like, I look at it like that. Like, I don't put myself as like I'm like Jesus Christ, but I do put myself as like I'm God's son, and like I'm held responsible for certain things that I have to do. Like helping people, I have to do it. I don't see myself succeeding without helping this person. If I see a person on the street and they ask me for some money, I don't care what you're gonna do with that money. I'm gonna give you $1, or I'm gonna give you whatever I got. Because of the song thing, it's not about me and you, it's about us uplifting, us giving grace to just being on this earth, being around creations that God has created around us. And like, a lot of people don't look at it like that. I really feel spiritual. I don't look at it like, okay, this person begging for money. I look at it like, this is one of God's angels. They're asking us to, he's asking them to help. So I'm gonna help. And that's the same way I look at it when it comes to work. When it comes to other musicians and stuff like that, when it comes to folks doing music and stuff like that, I realize, look at them and be like, they might not be on the same page as me, but I'm gonna still help them. Or I might not be on the same page as them, but if they need anything, I'm gonna help. I'm gonna be right with them, making sure that they know that, King Enterprise is a helping hand. We not just no label, or we not just no group of people that come together that just want to do music. We also turn back around and help you out, even if it don't better us, even if it ain't got nothing to do with us, and we just doing our job. It don't matter. We're not here to do it for the money. We're not here to do it for people to tell us, oh, well, you did a good job here, because it's unfair. We want everybody to succeed. We want everybody to win. We don't want nobody to lose. If you lose, it's not going to be because of it.
That's beautifully and well said, because most stigmas for people that say they do rap, if they don't say they do rap, most people will not even relate to how really deep people are that are rappers in the industry that are really connected to Christ. And because you might express yourself a certain way, I'll put it that way, just because you express yourself a certain way does not detach you from loving the Lord, loving Christ, wanting to be Christ-like, because that's what you're describing. You want to live a life Christ-like, right? Because that's what your aspiration, most people's aspiration should be. However, you speaking it, people hearing that that's the way you have modeled yourself is an excellent way to have for a modelization of life. Because yes, we are here to help each other, to grow, and for everyone to elevate, not to diminish, destroy, and tear down people. We're here to elevate, bring up, and support people on their journey, just like you said, even if it's not our own path, but it is a path they're on. So that was excellent.
Sometimes it be hard, but sometimes you gotta, what it used to say. Sometimes you gotta put your head down on the ground and let your walk over, even though that might not even be important. Might just be somebody that you might not even like them, but at the end of the day, what it is.
Right. Now let me ask you this question. Have you always lived in Georgia, or would you leave Georgia and live somewhere else?
Wherever Jesus or God take me, if I could pray that I could stay there, we going.
It's just that simple. Like, that's that simple. Yeah. I can relate to that, because if God doesn't tell you to move, don't move. Because a lot of people will have an opportunity, and I've spoken this to a lot of artists that I've worked with and managed. And I told them that's like one of the first things I talked to them about, is that I have to be willing to trust you and trust that just because you see an X amount of dollar on the table, if I'm telling you it's not right, trust that it's not right if it comes with a certain spirit or energy with it. But people don't believe in that, and they just chasing that dollar instead of chasing the way God said to move forward. And they get twisted. So I understand what you're saying. Mm-hmm. But that comes with a whole lot of confusion, destruction, and all that kind of stuff. People don't understand that. I made all this money, but now I don't have no peace in my life. I have no one I can trust around me. I don't have this. That's because you move in a direction that God didn't tell you to go. You wanted to go follow that man head instead of follow your spirit. But that's a whole nother thing. People want to say, but you can't never talk about life without it, unless you're talking about the greatness of how God is in your life.
Yeah.
So it just go hand in hand. So I understand that, and I appreciate that you even wanted to say that, because a lot of people don't want to speak publicly about how connected they are or how deep their relationship with the Lord is, and try to be a performer and out front, because it can turn off a lot of people, which it shouldn't, but it can.
If they meant to be part of us, they're part of us. Everybody ain't chosen, so
that's right.
At the end of the day, I don't dislove them. I still love them, but I don't have no picks. I can't tell a person just because of something he don't believe in what I believe in, or he don't speak I speak, that I can't deal with him because he, So if they judge, they judge. I don't have no judge. I just.
That's right.
I like doing music. It's fun. Mm-hmm. I like doing interviews. It's entertaining. And I've been doing. I just really, to me, it's really just like finally people are paying attention. I've been fake interviews. I've been sitting in the just asking self questions. So now I actually speak. People actually get here like, okay, he actually serious. So just the same way as you was saying, when how I perform and how I lift the crowd, and then I also help out and stuff like that. But I used to do this around the house. I used to go outside, just play like I was in front of billions of people. So, and a lot of people be so lost because they be like, do you smoke, drink, anything like that? And I don't do no drugs. I can go on stuff on the stage, and it's like I just feel like but I don't need no hype.
Judging, because you shouldn't be judging anyone's ways, but they shouldn't be judging you either. You correct with that.
Yeah.
Yes, just be open to we can agree to disagree on whatever it may be.
As long as they let me be me, that's all that I care. I don't want you can't change me. This is who I am. I can change for myself. If I do change, it's gonna be because the higher power and stuff embraced that for me. It made that what it was. But I'm not changing myself. That's the reason why I'm speaking so much and so highly of God and Jesus, because of something. I don't care if we could get off this interview and people be like, well, we're not gonna listen to his music, not for the sign him, none of that. They can blackball me all they want, because I'm not doing it for them. I'm doing this because
exactly.
So that's pretty much what it was. It's this was put in my path. I stopped doing music and it came back to me. So I pray every day for it.
All right, amen. Now you're talking my language now. So you pray all day, every day. In order, if you stay more in prayer, you stay less in confusion.
For real.
Right, because you have that spirit running through you all the time.
Most definitely.
Mm-hmm. So do you have anything coming up far as live performances, or you just waiting to book some new shows?
So right now, I'm working with My Life Entertainment. That's the guy, that's Quentin Miles.
Right.
He's the one that held the award show.
Okay.
We have some things that we got coming up where we're supposed to be going to Florida for a couple of his artists. So I will be on that tour with them.
Okay.
And shout out to them, shout out Yola, Quentin Miles. They really doing a lot of stuff. Like, he really is a big help. He's been helping me since I started managing all the way to me becoming an artist. So shout out to him most definitely. And shout out to my sister Yola, because she is definitely one of a kind.
Yeah,
that's really what's coming up next.
Well, okay, that sounds great. And just like you said, Quentin Miles is definitely a pillar in your community, because just like he had pulled that Tri-City Hip Hop Awards show together, he allowed so many people to have an opportunity to have a platform. So that is what I'm talking about when I say each one teach one. You got to be willing to be open to allow other people come through and not have no kind of pretense, or jealousy about it. Just be open to give everyone an opportunity. And I seen that in them. And she did a great job on stage as well. So you are definitely in the company of greatness.
Well,
so y'all gonna be a powerful force coming through when y'all come through all these cities and do your concert. And I'll be praying for y'all for much success, and that y'all have all of what God wants to have for you happen, and y'all be protected, because you're gonna be going places that you may not have been before, and that y'all have the shield of protection around you all. And I can't wait to hear the new project. So you're gonna have to come back and let me know what's going on. Keep us current. Take some clips on the road.
We gonna do a whole. Hey, this the first tour that we ever went on to. We gonna definitely be wilding. Like, we definitely gonna have a lot of videos. We're gonna have it's gonna be a lot. So it's gonna be definitely a lot of fun, because it's like we already all family. Like, all of us already, we love each other.
You already have a nice camaraderie.
We got a good connection. Like, everybody that's coming on the tour with us, we all got good vibes. Don't nobody have no negative energy. So
that's awesome.
It's definitely gonna be fun. And then on top of that, most of us, I think all of us kind of grew up in the city. If we not from the city, we all grew up in the city. So we all it's just our vibe,
Well, y'all, like I said, y'all let me know when y'all get close, because if y'all come down to Florida,
we going to Florida first. We going to Florida first.
Okay, we
coming there first, but I gotta see, because he just we
just getting the itinerary together. Y'all definitely gotta send it to me so I could come.
Most definitely.
Yeah, I want to see you all win. I take pleasure in seeing people win, especially at what they want to do. As long as it's about positive things. Okay, so is there anything else you want to let your fans know about you, or want to let them know your social media handles and stuff like that before we leave?
Once again, this is King, part of King Enterprise. You found Out My Element on all platforms. You can find product on all platforms. It's both up under King Enterprise. I just want to leave y'all with encouraging words. The encouragement is, nobody say, always stay dedicated to you and keep high power Jesus Christ always in your prayers. Always pray for people and always work hard. Don't ever give up. This is not an easy journey. This is not something that you just wake up in one day and just start doing. It's always about work, and it's always about keeping faith, and always just praying. You gotta pray every day, 24/7.
Amen. You said the whole thing. You said everything that needed to be said. Well, I'm gonna wish you well.
Tell them the King said it.
That's
wish
right,
you well too.
Some Darius King said it, but all the believers know to say that.
Yeah.
And so thank you for joining me. Thank you for coming to Boom in Your Face and talking with us. And I look forward to all the stuff that's ahead for you. Make sure you keep in contact and you keep me abreast on what's going on.
Thank you.
So I can promote you.
Too.
All right now. You take care.
All right.
Listeners, I want to thank you again for joining me for another episode of Boom in Your Face. Please remember to support the podcast on the website. As a reminder, if you'd like to share your Boom in Your Face music, or share your Boom in Your Face moments, or just want to join in the conversation, reach out and email me at boominyourface616@gmail.com, or visit the website and sign up for the newsletter and share your stories. I'm your host, Mary Kearney. Be blessed. Boom in your face. Boom in your face. Boom in your face.